Hey Ted, what's going on?
Oh, not much, Dan. How you doing?
Well, it has been a wild year in the last couple of weeks, but you know, it's
Yeah,
typical. So many people, like you and I were just talking before this, like so many people are just going through so much, and it's the holidays.
yeah, I know. I mean, case in point, what happened with Rob Reiner, yesterday. I'm really heartbroken about that, and just the world at large. It just feels like things are getting crazier, and I know you've personally been dealing with a lot. I've been personally dealing with a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that. You
Yeah,
know.
it's a this seems like an inconvenient time to go through a lot because there's so much. Like it's like I'm okay right now, and I have therapy tomorrow. Like you and I both know we're going to therapy, we're taking our meds, we're doing the best we can. But sometimes, like right now, it just seems like I can't keep up with the world. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
overwhelming. When it gets like that, I
Mhm.
gotta just right foot, left foot, take care of me. But yeah, it's what a wild world we live in.
It just, I mean, I heard somebody say something like the holidays brings out the worst in everyone, and I can kind of feel that, but it's also this time of year is notoriously rough for me. I don't know about you, but it seems like a compound of bad things always seem to fall like right around Christmas. Like my suicide attempt in 2009 was a couple of days after Christmas Eve. Uh, I was my mother-in-law. She passed away on Christmas Eve in 2015. Um, and now here we are. Her dad's laid up with a knee replacement that he just had, and she's got this virus that she's trying to shake, and it just I hate to say that we're used to it, but yeah, we're kind of used to it.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you. Well, and plus, you and I struggle with like seasonal affective disorder that makes our mental health way worse. Like so on top of everything going through those hard times in December, like every December, my seasonal, usually in November sometime, that starts to kick in. And we've had
Yeah.
like a record cold, record snow December since like the 1930s or something in Ohio already. And I'm like,
Oh,
really?
wow.
On top of everything else. So, but
Yeah, they're saying the winter is going to be pretty bad, like all around. I know we're supposed to get a lot of it. I mean, right here, right now, it's already down in the teens, um, which last year this time it was kind of mild, and it has been. But yeah, you can definitely tell that it's going to kick our ass this time.
well, I was going to every year when I get to December, it's like my theme song every December is that Merle Haggard song. If we make it through December, and it's like
Yeah,
that song is so working class poignant. Like it's like all my years at Jeep, even like there was, and don't get me wrong, like luckily for me, like like my kids are like I'm not materialistic. You know what I mean? Obviously, I
yeah,
live in a camper, like, uh, and so, and I've like, my kids know that. So my kids have like grown up not like so much of like getting big, like going like hog wild on Christmas. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's been a lot of years they've had nice Christmas presents. Uh, there's been a lot of years where we just had like a nice dinner and small presents. So luckily it's not like I haven't been like too heartbroken. Like the last couple of years, it's been tough. Like especially this year, like I'm going through a disability thing, so my kids aren't going to get much for Christmas, and that's tough. But luckily, it's not. Like so many people spend thousands at Christmas time. And it's like,
yeah, yeah. I've been missing my mom a lot this year, and something I read. the other day really hit home for how I've been feeling. And I know Isla's been missing her mom too, of course, but it said becoming an adult is realizing that most of the Christmas magic was just having a mom who loved you. And man, my mom would go all out Christmas. Like, God knows how much money she spent making sure that we had just the best Christmas that we could possibly have every year. And on up until she got sick, like she was still, she would come and supervise my dad, like cooking like the Christmas cookies and stuff like that to make sure that that was still, she got really into it. And since she's gone, it's just kind of taken the color out of it. It just we try to do something nice for each other, but it's definitely been quite a few years since we've had like a real Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, I live like a nomad life. Hopefully, once I get these health problems fixed, I'll be back to my nomad life. So, like last year, I was in LA at Christmas time, and it was
Uh,
really wild. In Ohio, a lot of times there'll be snow at Christmas time where it's at least chilly and cold. But it was really, really wild to be in Los Angeles last year, like as November went into December, and seeing people decorate their palm trees with Christmas lights. Like it was like
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing Christmas in other places. You know,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like a lot of people I talk to are either going hog wild because they need the Christmas spirit this year as like a healthy distraction, or
yeah,
they're like, you know what, it's just not going to be the same. We're just kind of getting through. Like I say, luckily I know how to breathe underwater.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, find myself like wondering, like, am I the only one that feels like this is going to be like the last Christmas? Like, it's just,
You
it
never
kind of,
know. It's wild. But so what's going on in your artistic life?
well, I am down to a couple of copies of my book left. I sold a number at the reading a couple of weeks ago that I was lucky to do at the Arts Council, and that went really awesome. I got to have I've gotten to where I'm on like first name basis with some of the other artists that are in the area, and it was cool because Christmas was coming up, at the time of the reading, and we discovered, me and this artist Shane that I become friends with, that we both really love bad horror movies, just the worst. One of my favorite horror movies of all time is Silent Night, Deadly Night, about a guy who dresses up as Santa Claus and just goes and hacks people up. That's pretty much all you need to know. And she made a reference to it, and I was like, "Oh shit, you know that movie too," and got really excited. But yeah, it was fun. I've been doing that. Been writing some kind of like fragmentary poems here and there, nothing major. I've been drawing a lot, watching a lot of movies. Just I had a therapist once that said that the artist pathway is a twofold kind of thing. That there's like the part where you consume a lot of art, and then the part where you then release your own art. So I feel like I'm kind of at the consume part. I'm reading a lot of books. I'm reading a really good Jim Harrison poetry collection I got from the library that I'm really really enjoying a lot.
Harrison's a great.
Um, oh, check this shit out. He is from Grayling, Michigan,
Uh-huh.
and that is not far from where my father-in-law is from.
Oh yeah, you told me.
He,
Yeah, I've been
yeah,
up. Yeah,
up in the Upper Peninsula.
I
Yeah,
love this up there.
yeah, yeah. Iowa has pictures of them being up there on Fourth of July, and they're watching fireworks, and they're all in like sweaters and blankets and stuff. Because she said like the wind off the lake is just brutal cold. But yeah, yeah, I was really kind of tripped out by that when I started reading it, and he started talking about the UP. I was like, oh, well, I've been hearing stories about that place for like the last 15 years. So,
Yeah, I've been there. It's so like I've been a lot of places. I've been to 41 states in this country. And when I went up to like northern Michigan for the first time, like I was like, holy shit, there are forests. Like I'm talking like the woods there. The forests in northern Michigan are hundreds of thousands of acres, right? I mean, it's like there are forests there that are 10,000 years old. And so I start getting tripped out by that. I'm like, dude, there's trees and forest here that are older than the United States of America. All of them are. But not only that, but they're older than England.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's
that really.
what a beautiful place. Like it's
Mhm. Yeah,
but
we're talking about maybe taking a road trip up that way because I've never really I've traveled, but I haven't gotten to see a lot of places that I want to see. And we've been cooped up in Statesville for, gosh, since 2019. We haven't had a vacation. So we're talking about maybe taking a trip once money isn't quite so tight. What's going on with you artistically? You got the book out and all
everything,
that?
everything. Yeah, so my poetry book was like, dude, it's been insane. I had a reading, my first ever college reading at Indiana University in Columbus, Indiana branch. And man, like they treated me like a rock star. Like it was. I got and being a blue collar guy, I've done a lot of great. Like I got to read at the Green Mill Poetry Slam, where they invented slam poetry. So I've done a
Right.
lot of cool things. But at a college reading, like they gave me all this swag, gave me a tour of the campus. They got like this. They got the most beautiful Dale Chihuly art piece I've ever seen.
Oh,
It's
wow.
but and then they, of course, gave me a small check for reading, and I was like, man,
Nice.
and it was really neat being being a factory poet, uh, to be in front of the Dr. Julie, I'm gonna screw it up, Goodspeed Chadwick, yeah, Goodspeed Chadwick, Dr. Julie Goodspeed Chadwick is a Plath scholar. And she's the head of the literature department there at the college. So she was at the reading, she was a large part of like arranging for me to be there. And like to have her and some other like college staff and students listen to me read for 40 minutes and then ask me questions about writing was, I was on, it was cloud nine, you know, uh,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
life, what an opportunity. So that was wild. And then I
Yeah.
just dropped my new chapbook, the blue collar, just
Mhm.
getting by blues, the just getting by blues, blue collar poems and stories for the holidays. And I realized,
Right.
like I was thinking about it. Musicians oftentimes will do a holiday album, and they
Yeah.
do that because they get royalties every year. That's an album that gets listened to over and over again for a long time, right? Like Mariah Carey has made a fortune on Christmas music, right? So I'm
Yes.
like, why can't a poet do like a Christmas album or holiday album? So I
Yeah.
decided to put together a little blue collar chapbook for the holidays. It was fun.
I, that's cool. Yeah. Holiday records. I actually told Iowa last night. I'm like, hey, guess what? She was at her dad's, taking care of him, and I was like, hey, I'm listening to Christmas music. Are you proud of me yet? Because I put on the Squirrel Nut Zippers Christmas record.
No,
Great, great, yeah, great jazz band from North Carolina, and really had a lot of fun with it. I really like the Bob Dylan Christmas album a lot too. Uh, that one's a couple of years old, uh, but yeah, yeah, things have been good.
yeah. I have one poem that mentions the squirrel nut zippers.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh. And that's only because I grew up in the MTV era, and that's where I discovered them.
Oh
So,
yeah, for sure.
but
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a superhero. Now I'm an X-Man. Live your dreams.
A poem from my new chapbook. Dear Santa Claus, I know that I haven't written you in a long time, and I know I might be on the wrong side of naughty or nice, but it has been a long year, old man, and I'm so tired that I can hardly carry my bones. My friends are all sad and struggling, and hope has never been more scarce. So, if there's still time for a Christmas miracle, this is all I ask. I want sick days for Christmas to use throughout the year. I want a living wage for all the world's workers and a holiday from world hunger. I want health care for all for Christmas. And I want wellness clinics instead of pill mills. I want all the cancer patients to keep their hard earned money. I want free recovery for the addicts that want it and free mental health care for those that need it. And I don't want to hear any bitching. I want the American dream for Christmas. I want working people with one job to be able to afford housing, and I want no child left behind. I want a new deal for Christmas. I want joy and laughter on every American stovetop. I want a president that cares more about American workers than the economy, and I don't want to hear anyone apologize for it. I want women to feel empowered for Christmas, and I want minorities to finally have an equal chance. I want a police department that makes people feel safe instead of afraid, and I don't care who gets offended by that. I want empathy for Christmas, and I want it in every stocking in America. I want love and acceptance under every holiday tree, and I want smiles to decorate our faces until we outshine a reindeer's nose. Dear Santa Claus, I know it's been too long since my last letter, and I know that Christmas miracles are in short supply. If you don't grant these holiday wishes, then bring me another lump of coal to add to the smoldering hopes of those who resist and pray for revolution.
It's a little known fact that several years ago, Arby's decided to partner with Randy Newman for their new ad campaign, You've Got a Friend in Me.
All right, well, let's get to speaking of albums. Uh, Ted and I, so this is the premise. Everybody always does Christmas in July, right? That's a huge thing all over the world. So we decided to do summertime in December. So Ted's going to talk about first albums that are like his favorite their favorite summer albums, and then uh, we'll talk about summer recommended books or whatever. So just
Wait,
to think some warm and happy thoughts in this December, But,
yeah. Let's beat those summer blues, or let's beat those Christmas blues and take a summer road trip. Um, I racked my brain like I almost went obvious with like a lot of Beach Boys and stuff like that. Like, and that's very summery too. But summer for me means being out on my skateboard. And luckily, where I live now is just a couple of blocks from a skate park that Statesville just got after they've been trying to build one for like decades. So these are the albums that I would play at the skate park. Okay, number one, Primitive Blast by The Shrine. This is signed. I actually bought this signed for $10 used. It's great, like Motorhead, Black Sabbath, but with like a punk rock kind of attitude to it. Um, this one is well worn, as you can see. I've got the duct tape there. 7 seconds. The crew. This is a great, like, um, just kind of party punk. There's a song on here called "Not Just Boys Fun" that has like this really fun, like, backing vocal thing, and you know, I remember listening to this record. It's my brother's copy. I remember listening to it in high school and being really taken with the fact that one of the tracks starts with the producer going, "We're still rolling," and then you hear a guitar player go, "So fucking what?" And I was just like, "All right, cool." Um, this one's changing it up. This is a metal record. Crom, Hot Sumerian Nights. This is the most entertaining heavy metal album I have ever heard in my life. It's got a bunch of like samples like in between all the songs that are like heavy metal centric, but kind of poking fun at metal, which metal kind of takes itself too seriously sometimes. So sometimes I want heavy metal that's kind of pointing out how ridiculous the genre really is. And then finally, we got SSD Control, Give It Away EP on Handy Dandy Blue Cassette. They were a straight edge hardcore band from Boston, which I think it's funny. Like, I always say that one of my favorite pastimes is smoking pot and listening to straight edge. Because, it's just like I'm listening to all this anti drug music, but I'm just baked out of my skull. But the song, the title track on here is killer, but it's just really good, straight ahead, angry, political punk rock music. So what you got?
I wanted to come up with a couple albums, which was hard. This was a little bit harder than I thought it would be actually. Uh,
It's not easy.
but I was thinking about albums for like a barbecue. So I
Okay.
think my favorite, like the best album I would put on if I was having like a backyard barbecue is ZZ Top Trace Hombres. That's one of their early albums when they were really funky blues. It has LaGrange on there.
That is one of
Just
my
hard
favorite.
blues, heavy blues rock, you know, perfect for backyard barbecue.
Yeah, waiting on the bus on that album is probably one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's just the whole album is just, and I love all of their work, but like the early stuff is really that blues rock that's just, you know,
Yeah.
and then I was thinking about like, so if like the barbecue goes late into the evening, you got your friends over, you're having a good time. So I picked an album for like a backyard evening, and I love, love live records. They're my favorite probably because
Oh, okay.
I love to hear the live performance. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I'm not knocking artists that go into the studio and use auto tune and all, like make your beautiful art however you do it. But there's something about those people that do it live, and it's like wow. So my evening album is Carlos Santana and Billy Miles live from 1972. Like
Oh, that's a
Santana
good one.
live. I haven't seen him live, but I watched a lot of like his live videos and like live performances, and man, Carlos Santana live it just sounds like heaven. It's just you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I love like the first probably 4 or 5 Santana records, and then like there are ones here and there from there on. But that's a really really good one.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and then I was going to pick books, so we're running out of time actually. But real quick, I was also trying. I didn't want to go. Like as a writer, it'd be summer to me is road trips and beach and all this stuff and backyard barbecues. So it would be like, of course, I would say Jack Kerouac, The Road, but that's too cliche. That's too easy. So, uh, a really fun book is by Carl Hyacin. It's called Double Whammy. Carl Hyacin has been writing novels that are hilarious. They're Florida Man novels before Florida Man was a thing, and they are the most entertaining, outlandish characters, and I love it. And it's just fun. like it's a perfect like book for the beach. It's fun. It's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of environmental themes in there, and it's a very like, I don't know, I enjoy it. It would be a really fun read. And then I was thinking about like short stories would be good for the summertime. You got backyard barbecues, all that stuff going on, and maybe you don't have time to read a 800-page novel. Karen Russell has a book of short stories called Vampires in the Lemon Grove. And that was actually a bestseller, so that's not like a secret or anything. But that is and Carl Hyacint's a bestseller too. The Vampires in the Lemon Grove was one of the best modern short story collections I've read. Uh, and then, because we're running out of time, let's see, anything by Barbara Kingsolver, but especially in the summertime, her first novel, The Bean Tree, is funny. It's got heavy topics, but it's just funny. It's just fun. And
Mhm.
people that I know, we got to add some poetry. Michelle McDaniel has a new collection, Collected Poems, that
I need
spans
to pick
20
that up.
years of her writing. That's an epic book to own. And then Dave Newman has a book called Better Than the Best American Poetry. It's funny, it's hilarious, it's drinking, it's open, it's raw, it's blue collar. And that would be my recommendations. You got any summer reads, Ted?
Summer reads. Well, right now I'm reading Jim Harrison's Songs of Unreason and really, really
Oh,
digging into
that's
that.
a Harrison book too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just, oh man, what a book.
Yeah, I'm savoring it. I read a lot slower these days than I have in the past, so I'm taking my time with it and just like reading a couple of poems a day. But yeah, really enjoying that one. And then my friend Adam Gennady uh, has written a quartet of novels, um, including Tonight, After Tonight, Everything Will Be Different, and a number of others that are great road novels. They're food novels. He talks about like the food scene in San Diego and also the punk scene, like going to punk shows. He had a novel about working at an internet newspaper for a little time, but they're all interconnected. And what's interesting about his work is the he makes music too, and the music will continue the story of his novel. So, like, you finish an album, and the characters from it will show up in a book he puts out 10 months later, and it's just this cycle of creativity that is just mind blowing. But yeah, I tend to gravitate to his books during the summertime, so I would definitely pick those.
Hell yeah. All right. Good hanging out with you, Ted.
Yeah, you too.
See you again soon. Merry holidays.
Yes, you too. What's Trump's issue with paralegal aliens? I mean, Martians deserve fair legal representation too. Ted here with a weed review. I recently purchased these donut holes, Pineapple Express from Hazy Mary at my local dispensary, and I give it 3 dry eyes out of 3 because this stuff is the bomb. It's got balls of hash wadded up inside of the flour, and you get 2 joints for $12.99. They come in these cool little tubes that I usually hold on to because I can use them as joint carriers, and it does the trick, man. I was blasted last night, and I smoked one just a little bit ago, and I'm blasted today. So, yeah, Hazy Mary donut holes. Pick them up. You know you're getting older when you wake up and you're old.
Hey, hey, what do you say? What do you do? This is your trusty correspondent, Dan Denton. This month, on Just Another Way to Waste 60 Minutes, instead of giving you the Bigfoot report, we've decided to hit you with Where Has Santa Claus Been? And what has Santa Claus been doing? All right, you ready? This story is from CNN. Thieves dressed as Santa and elves raid Montreal grocery store, claim inspiration from Robin Hood. 'Twas the week before Christmas in a Montreal store when Santa stole groceries, then walked out the door. A group of thieves wearing Santa Claus and elf costumes stole cartloads of groceries from a supermarket in Montreal on Monday night, with an activist group later claiming credit for what they said was a Robin Hood-inspired heist to provide food to the needy. Montreal police spokesperson told CNN that around 9:40 p.m. on Monday night, 12/19, a group of people stole what we assume is food from the store. Man, that's kind of a cool, heartwarming story, really, man. The world kind of needs more Robin Hood, don't you think? All right, here we go. This story is from the Chicago Sun-Times. Thrill seekers subway surf in Christmas outfits atop CTA's holiday train in Loop. As the CTA's holiday train was making the rounds through the Loop recently, Santa Claus was the one being naughty. Well, at least someone dressed up like him was. In videos circulating on social media, someone in a Santa outfit is shown subway surfing atop the holiday train, climbing to the train's roof and standing, walking, and, at times, waving while engaging in the illegal and dangerous pastime that is rampant in New York City. The trend, documented in much lesser numbers in the Chicago region, is strongly discouraged by the city's transit agency. You know what I really appreciate about this article is how the Chicago Sun-Times just totally and completely throws the city of New York under the fucking bus. They're like, hey, this is the bullshit New Yorkers do, but here's Santa Claus doing it in our city. Wow. Okay, here's another one from CBS 12 News in Florida. Santa and his underwater entourage take a holiday plunge in Key Largo. Forget dashing through the snow. Santa Claus traded the North Pole for the Key Largo Reef Saturday for his annual holiday plunge. Swapping his sleigh for scuba gear, Santa dove into the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary at Pleasure Reef for a visit with marine life. And he wasn't alone. He brought along underwater elves and a festive mermaid who delivered a sea turtle-themed Christmas tree. All right, there's a couple things to unpack here. First of all, it says Santa dove into the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. Did you know technically D-O-V-E is dove? That's a bird, and it's not technically the correct way to say the past tense of dive is dived. D-I-V-E-D. That's what I'm trying to say. D-I-V-E-D. Dived. D-O-V-E is dove. Anyway, I learned that in some English class years ago. It had to be a long time ago. I've been out of school for years. Okay, here's another story from the official Bureau of Land Management website. Smokey Bear joins Mr. and Mrs. Claus to continue LTVA annual toy giveaway. Volunteering their time and resources, Bureau of Land Management BLM employees and volunteers once again brought holiday cheers to families during the annual Colorado River District Long-Term Visitor Area toy giveaway, marking the fourth year the employee-driven event has taken place. A highlight of the day was a special visit from Smokey Bear, who arrived alongside Santa and Mrs. Claus to welcome families and greet children as they arrived. As vehicles pulled in, children eagerly waved and shouted greetings, clearly excited to see Smokey step out and join the festivities. His visit quickly became a centerpiece of the event, adding energy and excitement throughout the day. Almost all of the children proudly reported that they had been good all year, Santa said with a smile. Man, I kind of wish I was there. Who wouldn't want to hang out with Santa and Mrs. Claus and Smokey the Bear? That sounds like a great time. All right. You might be able to hang out with Smokey the Bear and Santa and Mrs. Claus if you do enough mushrooms. Okay, this is our last story from ABC7 News in New Jersey. Firefighter battles New Jersey house fire while dressed as Santa Claus. There was an emergency call to a house fire, and members of the Old Bridge Volunteer Fire Department rapidly responded. When all hands are on deck, they need everyone, including a firefighter who was dressed as Santa Claus to answer the call. Michael was part of the Santa run on Tuesday night spreading holiday cheer when the department got the call for help. There was no time to change clothes, and the fire was raging. I took my wig off and my hat and my beard because that would get in the way and I didn't want it to ruin them. Said we were returning back to our route to go back to our Santa runs, and then this call came in for the structure fire. It came in as a full fire, full-blown fire. Has been playing the role of Santa for 29 years, but when his engine company arrived at the blaze on Sioux Street, he jumped into action and went to work helping colleagues battle the house fire. I knew my job was to get water to the firefighters and get water to the guys who were on the hose to get into the house, said Jackins. So I was stretching line into the house as the firefighters were making entry into the house to get that fire out. Man, is there ever a more classic, iconic, feel-good, heartwarming story than Santa Claus showing up to fight fires? Oh, that's better than the best Hallmark movie. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Those are just a few of the events that Santa Claus has been up to, and hijinks and mishaps and mischievous behavior and good things. And keep listening every month to Just Another Way to Waste 60 Minutes. And we're sure to bring you more hilariously ridiculous reports that you have no use for whatsoever.
My name's Ted Jackins, and I approve this message.